Let's start with this news, Ryan, out of the Biden campaign. Let's put this up there on the screen. Some interesting new leaks from the Biden team about Robert Kennedy Jr. and why his bid is a, quote, headache for Joe Biden. So Biden apparently, quote, is on cruise control until the heat of the 2024 election. All the nation's top Democrats are behind him, but he is now facing his own version of a primary, a campaign to shore up his support among skeptical Democratic voters. Currently, the rivals include Robert Kennedy Jr. They could describe him as the anti-vaccine activist with a celebrated Democratic lineage who has emerged with unexpected strength in early polls. They say he is looking as high as 20% in some surveys, a bracing reminder of left-leaning voters' healthy appetite for a Biden alternative, a glaring symbol of the president's weaknesses. It is clear there is a softness that is born out of a worry about electability in 2024, says Julian Castro, who attacked Biden on the debate stage. And he says there have been areas I think people feel like he hasn't delivered what he's promising on. And overall, Ryan, right now, what they see is a panicked team of White House advisors who did not anticipate RFK Jr.'s strength. If you combine RFK Jr. with Marianne Williamson, you're looking at almost 30% of 1/3 of the full Democratic Party. And the overall number one objection is, I just want someone else.
Yeah.
And that's very powerful, very potent, as Bernie Sanders found out in 2016. So what do you think?
And the very bottom of the piece references some focus grouping and polling done by this organization, Way to Win, that asks Democrats basically, what's your problem with Biden? And the thing that keeps coming up is particularly among Black and Hispanic voters, what has he done for me? I don't know anything that he's done for me. And so you've got all these Democrats saying the same things that they say for years. We just don't talk enough about all of our achievements and our accomplishments.
Yes.
So they got the Scranton mayor is going to do a road show across Pennsylvania telling everybody, all the wonderful things that they did for them. The problem is they need to do things that people don't need to just be told about. And two obvious ones they could have done, they chose not to. One, raise the minimum wage. Done. Like, you raise the minimum wage, you get asked a question, what did Biden and the Democrats do for you? They raised the minimum wage.
Yeah, we talked about it. Some 4 million people make a minimum wage in this country.
And then everybody above them that gets a raise, they're like, I wonder if I got a raise partly because the minimum wage went up. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you for forcing these terrible, stingy bosses to do a little bit more. And the child tax credit would be another example. People remembered getting $250, $300 checks every single month to help them get through what was a difficult time. It made inflation a little bit easier to deal with. If things are getting a little more expensive at the grocery store, if you've got two kids and you got a $600 check from the government, like, what has Biden done for me? Boom, he gave me $600 every single month. So they actively decided not to do those things. And so now they're caught in a place where, even though they have one of the most robust economies in the last, say, 50 years, I think because people feel precarious about it, that they're not able to really enjoy it and reward Democrats for it. Because if you're not sure it's going to be there a month later, if you're wondering if gas is going to go up to $4 a gallon, $4.50 a gallon, if you're wondering that there's going to be some type of recession around the corner, then you're not going to reward Biden for the fact that wages are going up and the economy
I think
is
this is a very important point, because one of the things that it underscores is that if you don't feel like anybody has done anything for you, then you're just going to default to the, like the intangibles. People, not intangible per se, but more the non-material, like age, like, oh, I can't stand the way that he talks. I can't stand the way he's embarrassing. And, RFK Jr., he's saying some interesting stuff. Oh, the guy's a Kennedy. All right, I'll take a listen. And that's enough for a lot of people. Marianne Williamson as well, always been a compelling speaker. So those two combined, 1/3 is not nothing. In fact, it's potent enough that they very seriously, from the math that I was looking at yesterday, Ryan, RFK Jr. could walk away with some 700 to 800 delegates in the convention. Could you explain why it is important for the Democrats to be serious about this? If they have a number of delegates, not a majority, but still some, what could they do with the DNC at the actual convention, should they actually get some?
Well, and we can put up A3 because this fits with that.
A3, please.
Basically, he could also get some momentum going because Biden is unlikely to be on the ballot in Iowa because Iowa has been told, you have to go after South Carolina.
Exactly.
New Hampshire's been told, you have to go after South Carolina. And both of them are saying, well, no, we're going to go first. And they all have their reasons for why they're going to continue to go first. And so as a result, Biden probably won't be on the ballot in either of those places. Plus all those voters are persnickety about their first in the nation
Yes.
point. So might take it out on Biden anyway, even if he is on the ballot. So then you got, boom, RFK Jr. winning Iowa, RFK Jr. winning New Hampshire, coming into South Carolina, and then you've got Nevada, Super Tuesday. And if Biden is stumbling at that point, you could plausibly see RFK Jr. bring genuine delegates to the DNC. Now, the DNC writes its own rules. And so
they could screw him out of the delegates.
Yeah, especially if he has fewer than 50%.
Yes.
It'll be a nuisance.
Right.
And you'll have some fighting on the floor.
Okay.
And you also are going to have a spectacle if, who are RFK Jr.'s delegates? These are not your normie Democrats necessarily.
Yeah, maybe they demanded anti-war package, anti-war stance on Ukraine,
Exactly.
or force a vote even on the
or on vaccines,
any of those issues,
or COVID origin.
That'd be fun.
These are not the kinds of questions that Democrats want to be grappling with in Chicago. I did want to raise this one piece in portion of the New York Times story, which was so bizarre.
Yeah.
It says that he has a bunch of views that are Republican. And so he lists, opposes an assault weapons ban. All right, check.
Well, Bernie Sanders did as well.
Right. But so we could argue that one out, but fine. Give him that one. Then he says he spreads pro-Russian talking points on Ukraine.
Always pro-Russian.
Kind of a weird one.
Okay.
He says vaccine hesitancy and vaccine skepticism.
Right.
RFK Jr. has been one of these going back years.
Right. That's traditionally a left-wing issue.
That's a left-wing issue, not a right-wing issue. It's become kind of coded right-wing, but it started left. And then they say he suggested American presidential campaigns are rigged. What they're talking about is a big article he wrote about the 2004 campaign for Rolling Stone with the Dominion, was it Dominion or what? Diebold.
Diebold. That's right.
He was alleging that the voting machines were moving votes around in 2004. That's not a right-wing.
No. Hillary Clinton talked about that on the floor of the U.S. Senate.
He's saying Bush stole the election.
Right.
So all of a sudden, all of these things, other than assault weapons ban, that are traditionally...
See, even the assault weapons ban, I would contest. Because it wasn't... I mean, like I said, Sanders was on the record against an assault weapons ban not that long ago. I mean, it's something that Biden...
After the NRA beat
his first, exactly. I mean, that's something that Biden would hammer Bernie. He'd be like, he doesn't have a... he's now hasn't taken on the NRA in the same way I have. Let's put this poll up there on the screen. Look, the man's support is just completely undeniable. This is from The Hill, and they say in a new Harvard-Harris poll that was shared with The Hill, Kennedy received 15% support amongst Democratic primary voters, 21% of responders saying they have a positive view of him, and overall, like what you are saying is that this is a June 14 and 15 poll. He still continues to have double-digit support in the Democratic primary, and, I mean, he has a credible case to try and get on the debate stage. And so does Marianne Williamson as well, polling over 5%. So the two of them really should be miffed that the primary is being so rigged by the party to keep them off the debate stage. And also from the media perspective, I mean, the only mainstream media organization, to my knowledge so far, or two, have interviewed RFK Jr. One was CNN with Michael Smerconish, and that was, on their Sunday program, and they didn't hype it as well. And then, of course, ABC News, which quite literally edited out what he said. And, look, that is just simply unacceptable. Like, we even told him, before, whenever we had our first interview, I said, hey, man, like, no matter what, people get mad, whatever, but, like, this whole thing is going up, as it should be. You cannot be in this position of censorship. So, look, overall, I think the way the media is handling it is very foolish. And I think that the Democrats, Biden, their headaches over RFK, I mean, listen, like, that's you only have yourself to blame. They're not doing an affirmative enough case of convincing people. So don't get mad at them when they have a wandering eye and they're looking elsewhere.
Hey guys, if you like that video, go to breakingpoints.com, become a premium subscriber, and help us build the best independent media organization on the planet.
That's right. We're subscriber funded. We're building something new. We want to replace these failing mainstream media organizations.
So again, to subscribe, it's breakingpoints.com.